You know how that starts right there. Answer, because this is like the finale right here. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, this is like Jay-Z, the greatest of all time. You know,
we just sit here and listen to Jeremy do
voices all day.
Voice impersonations. Yeah,
man, shit. I think my family probably be tired of that. But you know what? I saved this just for you though. I wanted to start off with this podcast the right way.
What is that?
I don't even know. It's like hairspray. I don't know. I don't know what did you use, man?
No, this is extra fun. First of all, you ain't even coming with the. There's a lot of wrist action, fam. But
yeah, okay, it's the wrist action. It's the wrist action. That's what
man.
It is. That
smells good. That's extra hold, man. This ain't going nowhere now.
No, man, I got it from. You know why it smells good?
Why is that?
It was in the girl aisle.
That makes sense. Tresemme.
You know, when I was like in 6th grade, me and my friend Tevin, shout out to Tevin if you're watching.
Yeah.
We don't really talk no more, but we still, friends on
Hopefully
Facebook.
He's watching.
Hopefully. Yeah. We used to wear Suave. You know what I'm saying? Like the women's Suave.
Is that the aftershave?
No. Well, they have aftershave, but like they had like women's Suave, like in the baby blue bottle.
Oh, the deodorant.
Deodorant. Yeah. So like, because I was using like men's deodorant, you know, like back then it was like Right Guard or Axe.
Yeah.
And like the sprays were like
bad
big
and
back
worse.
in there, you know what I mean? And I swear to God, I just
you did. You almost got me with that.
I was like, damn, it's the gum. I was like, whoa. I've never done that on the podcast.
It's all good.
Dang.
It happens.
But,
you're salivating over there, man.
If you guys don't use Tresemme, this commercial is brought to you by Tresemme. Professional hair. It's a 4-hold spray, smells good, extra firm control.
Wow.
We got that out of the way.
That's done.
You know, even though this is not a paid advertising. Tresemme, if you're watching, throw me a couple $.
There you go.
You know, and to Mr. Griggs, you know what I mean? It's all in the. That's the reason why you sell so much real estate.
Oh, is the hairspray?
It's the spray, right?
I mean, at this point, I feel like I should probably. I started tagging Orr, who makes the olive hairspray.
So that's what you're using.
It's ORR. It's olive hairspray. It's Sheen. You know.
Right there.
There we go.
I should have got the Sheen. You know what I'm talking about, right? The oil Sheen.
Yeah, the blue one that they use in the
barbershops.
Yeah.
So they got the blue one, but they also have one that's in the silver can.
I haven't seen. Okay, maybe I've seen the green and the blue one. That's the only ones I've seen.
No,
in my
there's
life.
one in a silver can.
That must be that's a Puerto Rican one. That's a Spanish one.
Mira que esto racista que está aquí. Mira esto.
I grew this out knowing I was trying to get on my DR status, man. I pulled it off.
I mean, first of all, you know, it's the PR. But you know, shout out to
you. I'm saying I'm going for Dominican.
Okay, you're going for the Dominican. Yeah. Okay, shout out to the Dominican. I mean, you're getting it. You're getting it.
New.
I mean,
I've been very corporate and military for 15, so like.
So talk to me because sometimes you have like the hard part.
Yeah.
You got this. So what goes into the?
I'm just trying to find it, man. I'm exploring.
But you're done with the crew cuts, the high and tight.
I have to. Yeah, that's too much.
I don't have a choice. I'm going. It's receipt. I seen you looking at the sunroof, man. I seen you looking.
If I wish I had a bottle of Keeps in my hand, we would definitely be sponsored. Keeps, give it a shot, man. It's preventative. I started it 3 years ago.
Bruh.
Your
Keeps?
Boy, Keeps. It's,
so you was fading, but it brought you back?
My corners, dog. My corners were dropping back like Peyton Manning, fam. They were going.
Like Peyton Manning, like McDonald's. And it's just like,
and
wow.
so I don't have the head. Like, you have a beard. Yeah. If I go bald, I'll look like Squidward. You can go bald and grow a beard.
I can't shave my beard. You know, even if I want my Marine Corps cut, I can't. You know, sometimes when I'm going into a meeting, I'm like, you know what? Because sometimes I'll have the beard down low. Now it's a little thicker. It's fall. You know, it's my scarf.
Is that? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna front the PR thing. The red hairs. I see that in a lot of my Puerto Rican homeboys.
That's natural.
That's beautiful.
Natural. Can't do that.
I can't stop staring at it. I've been staring at your beard the whole time.
No, better than my line. That's what I do. So you take the concentration off of the face, off the head, and put it on the face.
What are we talking about, man? What's going on? What?
Sitting here, handsome man. You know,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I appreciate you coming through.
Thanks for having me,
man.
For sure.
You know, first of all, shout out to Cade behind the scenes. I think since. What was it? Probably a year, 2 years now, Cade? It's been 2 years?
Yes.
2 freaking years been messing with Cade. For a long time, I wouldn't even say Cade on camera because I don't want nobody else in my industry to be like.
I feel you on that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like monkey see, monkey do.
I was a little selfish, yeah.
Yeah, it's a monkey see. But he was always true to say, okay, if I work with this many people in the same industry, I can't do the same content, you know, for you. So he's always been, you know, really great about that. But he was like, man, look. You got the same vibe as this team and like so many ideas I had.
Right.
I think I told you this before when we first met. Like you had already did, and I was just like, well, I ain't gonna be.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Swagger jacket. You don't want to. Yeah,
it's like people who are doing podcasts now. First of all, they're not doing like video podcasts in MySpace,
which take way better. Which they take just it's just they take like, the cake.
The people right now in my industry that are doing, you putting up on a YouTube, or you just have like a picture of you and maybe the guest, and it's like an hour long. Past 30 seconds, if you get somebody, no one's listening to you, bro. No one's listening to you.
Let me wait for some more viewers to come on.
Yeah.
Facebook. Let me just wait for a few more people.
Like, it's so crazy. So I just don't get how you would think of post and audio. So pro tip, if you're watching this straight from Jordan Griggs' vault, do not just do audio, video. Would you?
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
There's a so, and you could take this with you, whoever it is. So we just started online leads, right, with the team, probably about a year ago, and this is actually a tip I got from a local mega agent. When you go to do your follow up, send a video text. Instead of texting like an online lead or any client to say, hey, I'm going to meet you here at the home, send it in a video form, because the receptors in your brain treat that as the same as an interaction if you're live.
Oh, wow.
So it's hard for me to look at you and say, nah, man, F you, we're not going to go look at the house. It's hard to do that when you connect with somebody, right? It's just different. You got to be a real a-hole to do something like that. When you send a text, it sends off the same receptor. When you send a video text, it sends off the same receptor. So that goes in any form. When you're entertaining, when you're educating, video always is going to hit harder.
You know, it's so crazy. I'm in this new season now where I'm trying to I think we're all trying to better ourselves, and, you know, everyone, especially people who watch us, you know, act like dumb asses on social media or whatever.
For sure.
But I think that's just us just really being ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think because people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust, right? And
Absolutely.
like, if you're in our sphere and you dig that video and you liked it, well, then like, you like me, like, I don't have to. And that's the best part of everyone says, oh, it's so great to have a business, because everyone always thinks you got money and everyone always thinks you do what you want when you want when you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
Newsflash, that is fake news, right? Like,
I don't even know why I did that, but I needed to throw it out there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
not it, but it's one of those things to where everyone wants to know, well, how do I increase this? How do I increase that? And that was one thing I just learned from, I'm in this new season now of coaching,
right?
Where I'm getting coaching, right? Been in my business 10 years, but the last couple of years doing this, and I'm like, man, one of the first things, the first 30 seconds into the call with my coach, you know what she said?
What's that?
She said, start sending video texts.
Yeah.
And like, and this was
energy, man,
bro. This was 3-4 days ago.
Universe. That's how it works.
Bro, and then here he goes, like, following up.
It's a science. And she's on it. Or he.
And I was like, it's a she.
Yeah, she's on it.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Because in our world, one of the top coaches, I guess everyone in our industry knows, is like Todd Duncan, which is like the Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry of your world.
Okay.
Right? So it's always one of those things, right? Because even in your world, right? And this is probably good content for a lot of people who real estate agents that you might have had conversations with, whether it's a recruiting conversation or, because I know you actually pour out to other people who may not even be in your real estate sphere, even work for you, whatever, is how do you even like go about like that follow up, that video, that organic, you know, growth there to help them implement and coach that and take that out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. And it goes back to I'm gonna do a countless KW shameless plugs, by the way. So you're gonna hear Keller Williams all throughout it, and it's because of honestly what they taught me and where I'm at. All that starts with what we call like a GPS, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't know where to go until you figure out the map, right? It's very cliche, but it's the truth. So in knowing about your follow up, that happens when you know where you're going. So if I'm reaching out to a top recruit or top agent here in the area, it all starts with organic. It might start with, hey, Jordan, I liked your video. Or me being as in tune to pay attention to the likes, the loves, or, you know, the hearts and everything that they're doing, then that forces the reach out. Then I'll connect with them, right? Well, from there, the entertainment part is what got you in. But now it's time to show a different side, right? You get somebody in, but now you're going to show Jeremy Barrios knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to running a loan, right? Absolutely. Same here with recruiting and same as running an agent. So the follow-up, it's systemized. That's just something that's I have a VA, a virtual assistant. If anybody's looking, like I literally, anytime I interact with somebody or whatever, send a video text, the minute I get done, I call it erase it, then replace it, right? I erase the meeting that we had, we do it, and then I replace it with another meeting right away. following up, looking at my schedule with what's going to make the best, most sense for myself and the client or the agent.
Erase it and then replace it. You
Correct.
can't. And you know what's so crazy? I think you just dropped another golden nugget that I feel like I've told to other people in my industry too. And sometimes it's not necessarily about the likes and the hearts, because it's about top of mind. I think it's relevancy.
Correct. Mind share. Right. It's taking mind share.
But I think what people fail as is, because I think anybody, and shout out to KW, because I am bold 2 times. I know.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Is that a?
Yeah. Come on, you guys don't do that in your.
They do.
You know what I mean? They don't.
I'm guilty. I've only done half a bold. I was running it, so yeah, I'm a poser.
Look at that. He's a KW cheerleader, but he's a poser.
Kate should zoom in right now. Put like poser above my head right here.
Emoji it.
But I push it.
Spartan. How you gonna push it and you gonna even?
Because I live.
I'm Jordan Griggs and I'm political, and because I sound like Barack Obama, I can do what I want. So
it ain't even that, man. I live it. I live bold every day. That's my life. That's what I push to. That's what we teach the agents. That's what I teach to my team.
I haven't met Kaleo in person yet, but Kaleo, get this, man.
Oh man. Okay, well shout out to Kay, man. That's the Brody right there for sure.
So and I just been blessed to have tons of KW relationships, and that's one thing I will say, because I know you wanted to put KW on the map, and they really have that motto, man. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish, feed him for a lifetime. And right now is do or die season. You know what I mean? I think
great segue. Teach a man a fish, and we teach you how to build a boat. You know what I mean? And we take it a big deeper, for sure.
Forrest Gump shrimping boat.
I mean, Jenny 12, right? We teach how we and I realize that like this year, because to your point, we're in a shift, right? You hear the word a lot, right? And
it's not the KW word.
Shift. It is. Okay. For those who like, a shift is what we're in right now with the market. A recession is, I think, 2 quarters of
negative GDP.
Of negative GDP, which we're in now. We're going into our 3rd one. And because of the frenzy, some
people in our government still don't know that, but go ahead.
Who doesn't know that?
We're gonna stay.
Okay,
we're gonna stay neutral.
Keep the politics. We'll just make Obama and Trump jokes.
That's it.
Okay, for sure. So in the KW space, we call what we're in right now in the market a shift. And ironically, Gary wrote a book 8 years ago about it called Shift, which literally gives you the step by step.
What did he write a book about? The one thing,
millionaire real estate agent. Yeah, there's a lot. And
figured it out.
You know what? He figured out leverage, and he figured out that he didn't know everything. He doesn't know everything. And so if you go in those books, it's a lot of inserts from people that he's interviewed across America, across the span of his life. So if you go into the MREA, all it is a compilation of 20 different mega agents who told Gary, hey, this is what I'm doing in my business to be, to run it at a high level.
He just put it in the book.
That's it. And he started realizing like, hey, 15 of the 20 are doing the exact same thing. Hey, this model works. And I mean, breaking it down to how much you should be spending on salaries, how much you should be spending on marketing,
just
it goes
dummy do list. Like,
oh man,
keep it simple, stupid method.
Absolutely. Right? Y'all want to go page 192 of the MREA. If you want to go there and you're running a team right now, go to page 192 and it tells you exactly where every one of your dollars should be spent, right? Wow. And that's like
power moves.
People think we're just, these geniuses, but we're literally just following a playbook.
And there's another guy in this area who said, hey, I'm not that smart. I just followed a playbook. And this is where, I don't know if I'm starting to fight here or anything like that, but like some people in that realm, right, who drink the KW Kool-Aid, right? They, they're all about, Gary Keller and stuff like that. But then there's these other people, they're all about that Brian Buffini.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
That guy, with his Ireland accent,
Yeah, that was really good.
That was terrible. But yes, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, is nobody gonna get paid? He's just
That's
always
pretty solid.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay.
You can sell it. Yeah.
I could sell it. Not get away with it. There's feast or famine, right? And then there's, fear, and then there's faith, right?
Right.
And I think there's 2 methods looking at. I was just talking about somebody with this the other day, somebody who I'm really close with. You talk to one person in my industry and they're like complete Dave Ramsey, sell all your houses that you have.
For sure.
They're like, stay liquid.
For sure.
Keep as much money as you can in the bank.
Right.
And then somebody else is like, well, you have rentals, right? Like, yeah. Are they paying for themselves? Are they long-term? Are they short-term? Yeah, they're making money. So it's like that Robert Kiyosaki
right.
type of mentality, right? So, or it's like, Grant Cardone versus, Dave. So it's just kind of like I'm like, money doesn't, disappear. It just moves.
Right.
How are you moving it, right?
That's
it's like people in the stock market. No, you
Right.
didn't lose money in the stock market. It just moved and you didn't have it in the right places.
Right.
And I think a lot of people still our age look back at that 2008, recession and think like, oh my God, that's where we're heading.
Right.
And it's like, no, we're not.
Nowhere near it.
And if you need the dumbed down version,
Right,
you need to go
right.
watch The Big Short with Christian Bale and
Great
Steve
movie.
Carell,
Great
right?
movie.
And that sexy Ryan Gosling, right?
He is-
and
he is good looking.
he's a good looking guy,
I'm not
right?
gonna
I'm comfortable with my masculinity.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I'm
Like,
not even gonna
guy-
preface saying that. He's just
like,
a good looking
like he's
guy.
a good looking dude. You know what? Like, it's 2022. I feel like dudes could say that because like women say it all the time. Like,
Right.
oh my God,
Right.
she's a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Like, and like guys, we can't be like,
I
yeah,
do it.
so,
I think like I just do it now. If I'm with my girl, I get insecure. I'm like, yo, that dude's gorgeous, just so I can feel better.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
'Cause I'm
talking about
like-
insecurities, like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm short, super light skinned for my race,
Yeah.
and
For
I'm
Puerto
just
Rican?
like, yeah.
I feel like you're pushing it. You're median. You're right. You're in the middle. I get like winter
I mean, in the
time,
summertime in the Caribbean, I can get, I could come a couple shades lighter than,
I
than.
get DR for real.
I mean,
summertime. But it like
Are you mixed though?
I'm black and white.
Okay.
So I'm black and white, which if you want to get historical, that's really what DR is, but we don't like that's another topic for another day. Just, Spanish slave
Yeah.
trade.
Hey.
That's a whole nother conversation. But it's weird, like my white gets white during the winter
Mhm.
and my black is black in the summer. But like there's like I either look sick.
Mhm.
People like when winter comes, people ask me, am I sick? And I'm like, no.
Game of Thrones.
I just-
Winter
yeah.
is coming. And if the Maesters are right, we're gonna
Like,
be pale for
nah,
1,000 years.
I'm just biracial, man.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just, I
like,
get pasty. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's great because summertime's coming. I'm trying to stay like I probably need to hit up like Sunday's Blue Box or stay in my house in Florida or whatever.
Let me catch you walking out of a tanning place. But we can't both be ADD. So let me get
Go
back
ahead,
to. So you mentioned Buffini and
Yeah.
Keller,
Yeah.
and so I'll address that first. I would not look at that as perpendicular, meaning like they're crossing paths. I look at them more parallel. We do a lot of what Buffini says to do.
Most people don't even know
the
what
KW.
parallel and perpendicular are.
That's
so.
why I did I
See,
did it.
I seen
I gave
that.
a visual for the
No,
folks.
You're here, and I'm like,
I feel
I'm
like
still
there's
here.
10 people Googling,
In the
like, how the hell you even spell perpendicular? But so that answers that. And then to your point about, Ramsey versus Kiyosaki versus Grant, it all goes back to my comment about what's your GPS. Like, Ramsey might be exactly what you're looking for what you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't make him wrong or right, So I would even challenge people, don't even look at it like a versus. Like it's just whatever lane you're trying to stay in your life, there's going to be something. And I promise you, even if you're a Ramsey person, Kiyosaki's going to have some things. You know what I mean? Like Grant's going to have some things. Like it all can flow evanescence.
And I think it's
together.
a personal vibe and who
Absolutely.
you relate with, and where
Absolutely.
your own personal financial situation is.
Right.
And I think that's where people miss the boat. They get, shiny object syndrome, and they
Oh,
get,
facts.
they get paralysis by analysis.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, they're doing this, and then they're
Correct.
doing this, and this. Fucking quote, Gary. It's one thing, like focus on one. And I think we have such
For
a lack
sure.
of focus, right? And I think, the people who got in this industry, both our industries the last 2 years, who, especially this last year, who thought all you needed was a pulse and a license to make it, are going to be transitioning
Man,
out
preach.
of the business,
Preach.
right?
Absolutely.
And that's where I really appreciate the fact, because I think you said something earlier about Lee, and then I kind of want to start another fight or open conversation about lead generation, online leads and stuff like
Right.
that, which I understand it's a play-to-play market. In this market, you got to have at-bats, you got to have numbers and stuff like
speaking
that.
my language for sure.
And it's all about conversion, follow-up, conversion. I think in Gary Keller's book, he goes up from like 3, that tells you like, look, you follow up 3 times, 4 times, 5, like after the 10th
8 by
time,
8, 12 by 12.
it's
yeah,
like, it's just
yeah,
crazy, right?
For sure.
But I mean, I think everyone knows there's no denying that your sphere and your self-generated leads are much more.
Oh, bread and butter.
Those are, you know what I mean? So
All
like,
day.
what's that? So like from
Yeah.
a leadership perspective,
For sure.
how do you have that conversation with an agent to say, hey, especially if you're newer, when you're trying to just pay, you're just trying to pay your licensing fees.
Yeah.
You're just trying to
Yeah.
pay, you're just trying to eat, right?
It's a balance, man.
And like, and then you got, and I was talking to somebody else, another real estate, I would call him connoisseur, mogul, owns his own brokerage, whatever. And I said there was an agent who was online, was like, looking for a brokerage who provides 100% leads and 100% commission and no splits. I did. Like, well, that's you know what? So that's the way it
that's
read.
The tone. Yeah,
but then when I was talking to that broker, that's the way he said it back to me. So I'm like paraphrasing. You know who you are. We just had this conversation.
Everybody's receiving it.
Everybody, and then it's so funny. Yes, because I'm sitting in front of Griggs and I'm still like on his last freaking video. You know what I mean? We should have just literally did the spray and waited. How many more people are coming in?
It's the truth, man.
You know what I mean? Are you watching yet?
I try to spit truth.
You know, so
online versus SOI, right? It's so people put the verses in. It doesn't have to be. So again, I'm at a KW. I run a Keller Williams, right? A whole brokerage, but then I also have my own personal team underneath that, Pilot Realty, right?
Right, because you're the assistant team lead, right? Or
correct.
You're okay.
I actually just stepped in. So the team leader role, correct. Kaleo took he has a huge position he's taken with a Brett Tanner KW Wealth spot. It's huge. We'll go into detail.
Talk about that later. But
big time.
First of all, congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it for sure.
Big time. Okay.
I'm not, and the crazy thing, I really am not a big labels guy. So like to me, nothing has changed other than the title, right? So, but Pilot, the team I run, we're 50-50. Like SOI and online. We teach both. We want to give options. Is SOI a higher return? Do we have a higher ROI? Absolutely. It's always going to take less effort to just reach out and connect with the people that rock with you and close to you, who want to help you anyway.
No doubt.
But is online lead a force to be reckoned with? Absolutely. We're heading, like even Gary has acknowledged the fact that we're just in that era now where communication happens.
And he was never a big online guy
at all.
Now he's like
completely, but like as openly admitted, and that's why I rock with Gary. Real talk is like I was wrong. Like he was anti-Zillow. They're the devil. Realtor.com is taking over. These are ways, and he will now tell you get it how you get it, because here's the thing: we know this is the new wave. We know online, it's not even the new wave. It is becoming the wave because of the way interactions are evolving in society as far as social media online.
Yeah, and more millennials now are becoming the bigger demographic of purchasing homes.
Great point. And I want to drive that home too. And so many people get caught up. And I was there 5 years ago, especially in the military space, is, well, Jordan, why are you trying to market to 19 and 20 and 21-year-olds? Like, well, one, the average military member buys a house, I think, at a younger age than the average consumer in America. But two, those 22-year-olds will eventually be 26-year-olds. These millennials that so many people make fun of, we're the older ones, by the way, if you didn't know. We're Zennials, if you didn't know. Look it up. It's a real Zennials. So we're like, to me, I'm biased.
So like the 87, 88 babies?
Correct. We, like, pause. We'll come back to because I like to have this Zennial conversation. Okay, and to rep for all the real 80s babies.
That's here. You ain't getting away from that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
84 to like 90, I feel like we're like the last of the Mohicans. You feel me?
I can agree with that.
We saw it in the time, like we joked with young Cade right here about a Chris Tucker movie.
Like 12?
21. Reverse it.
I know he just looks old and dirty with the.
I'm envious of y'all's beards, but we were the last. Like, so we're the last generation. I know. Stop, dog. We saw both sides. We've seen both sides of the spectrum, but we operated at a high level in both sides, right? Like we remember VCRs and what life was before.
The Nintendo 64 connected into the VCR.
Correct. That's people like I didn't like. You just had to match up the colors, and one of them always hung out for no reason. And
the red one.
What did it do?
I don't know, because it was yellow and the white.
Yellow was audio. What did that? So then here comes the iPhone, but we were around 14, 15,
Even when that came out, I couldn't afford one.
Right. We were I was Navy, so 2005, right?
Okay.
But we understand that space too. So I'm a huge proponent that Zennials, we're the last of we were getting our ass whooped as kids, and we borderline still put hands on our kids when we need to.
Absolutely. My son's too.
You need to edit that out if it gets too. You know what I mean? It happens. My son, I know you didn't. You didn't get whoopers, Cade. I can tell. You didn't get whoopers.
He's white. Why would he?
I don't know, man. My mom, she didn't get that memo. She didn't get the white moms don't hit kids memo.
Well, because your dad was black.
That's probably why.
Your dad was like...
She didn't get she didn't get that email,
you know what
man.
I'm saying?
She was also from the sticks, country. So I don't know. She didn't get a lot of things. They didn't get water until she was she had well water up till she was like 13. She didn't have
what was his name? God rest his soul. He played Pops in the Wayans brother and
John Witherspoon, man.
John Witherspoon.
That's my Pops in real life, dog. My dad acts just like him, dog. It's aggravating. So bringing it back, man. Bringing it back. Go ahead. I digress. Online versus Sphere.
Yeah, the conversion's great.
Yeah, we're in the wave of you just. It'd be best if you adopt both, but Sphere, to KW shameless plug here, we teach that at a high level. That's why I said Buffini, like we rock with Buffini. He does exactly.
So do you guys bring Buffini in, or
we have plug right here from my boy Garrett Maroon? I personally use a program called BBR, Business by Relationship. He uses what's called the Perfect 36. So it's like Buffini to me on steroids. It's very personal. He has a coaching program. He basically, like, I can show you numbers where he teaches your agents how to properly qualify their database. A lot of people don't understand that. I'll give you a tidbit right now. If you want to qualify your database, meaning making them Alpha, Bravos, Charlies, we call it military term, but your VIPs, all you have to do is call, shoot a text, and say, hey, this is Jeremy Barrios. Just want to let you know I just obtained my real estate license. If you didn't know I was in real estate, look, if you had somebody looking to buy or sell, like one of your friends looking to buy or sell a house, do you have an agent that you would refer to them? Can I be that agent for them? Like, can you be that person you refer? That's all you got to say, and frame it. And obviously I was, stuttering a little bit, but that's how you frame it because now you're not directly asking somebody to say, hey, JB, you trying to buy or sell a house with me? That comes off as kind of sleazy, slime ball. So now you're being indirect because what do friends want to always do? They want to help. People want to help people. And that's how you qualify your database. I promise you do that with 30 people right now. One of those people will say, I'm actually looking to buy or sell, and you'll get some business like that.
I'm going to add another golden nugget to that. People don't do it right on social media. Like I told you before, the people who like, heart, and comment, especially the new agents, the new loan officers out there. My name's such and such. I'm Jeremy Barrios. I'm a new loan officer, new mortgage broker in your area. If you're looking to help someone sell, buy, or invest or refinance into a home, would you please think of me? I can really appreciate it, right? When they like it, when they heart it, they comment on it. What stopped? They have now engaged with you. They engaged with you. What is wrong with you taking it one little last harmless step further and sending them a direct, personal, private message? Thank you so much for taking the time to interact and like my post. If you or someone you know needs or has any real estate needs, would you please keep me in mind? I greatly appreciate it. And you would be surprised out of those 30 that's small numbers, right? Most people have 5,000 fake friends on Facebook anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's always like
max. I think 5,000.
5,000 is max. Right. I mean, because we all trying to grow our sphere.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And all try to, you know what I mean? But I think out of 5,000, I think we might really know like 100 of them, Maybe.
Not too far off the mark, for sure.
And there's nothing wrong with having that many people. And I think that's why Facebook was essentially created. So you can interact with more people and have more online relationships. Again, those zennials that we're going to talk about later and whatnot. See what I did there? And
I'll do that a lot. I always say we're going to come back to this. I don't think I ever come back to anything I said we're going to come back to. I need to work on that.
Oh, no, we're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
back here.
You're a smart guy, so I figure you won't forget.
I try. Again, I'm not that smart. Just work harder than everybody else.
I hear you, man.
Or I try
I dig
to.
it.
You know what I mean?
I dig it.
That's one thing I said. I'm trying to tell you I am not that smart. I like to take credit for it, man, but I will outwork anybody.
Yeah.
I will outwork you. And I'll say that on camera. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to say, I promise you, I will outwork you any day of the week.
I love it. I need Kate to add like applause right there into the podcast, into the video.
That's it. I mean, and there was this quote in a KW office: success is simple, not easy.
Not easy.
See, it's already in the KW.
I mean, I was gonna let you finish.
I mean, I should have just done let you finish it since you.
It would have been cool if we did like impromptu and just finish each other's sentences.
Had he went to bold, he probably would have.
I was gonna tell you, I saw that on a bold picture in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right above the
toilet.
So
that's like the 8th of the bold you got.
It is, but it is true. It is true. All jokes aside, it is. That's the part where consistency and intentionality comes in. It's that the whole, like, it's breaking down what you say even further to, we say in the military parade rest of like that outworking, you got that as a whole, but really all that outworking is consistency and being intentional I just forgot everything.
Okay.
And then like focusing on that one thing, right? And that's a KW thing. And that is what accumulatively makes that hard work happen.
Wow.
You know?
And that's crazy. So we're gonna tie the Zennials in this next part into into 2-1. So we've said that millennials now are becoming the predominant home buyers right now.
Correct.
And rent used to go from 3 to 4% year over year. Now rent has increased 15%. So right now what we're seeing in this market is people can't even afford their rent anymore, and it's just keep going up. The laws of supply and demand, basic economics 101, right? You got more shelter needs, right? People need more housing. People is booming. They're having kids. Their kids are having kids. Everyone's just growing, right? And even in this market, in the Hampton Roads market, in the economy, I feel like we've always been a little bit incubated from the outside world just because we've always had the DOD, the DOJ. Man, you know what I mean?
You're speaking my language, bro. I've always felt that. And it's the truth. I feel like it's the truth.
But you got 10,000 people PCSing in every week. You know what I mean? So I feel like we've always a little bit incubated. And I I feel like, blessed and thank God that we have this big military community that we get to service, right?
Right.
And some
I don't
people
think we take hits as hard.
We don't because of all of the as much as the money's the military and all those DOD contracts are pumping in here. And don't get me wrong, people are feeling it. I mean, even right now, there's still more jobs available than people are to work. They just don't want to work. We just live in people just lazy.
Had a 2-year hiatus with COVID, man.
They just oh my God, for sale signs sold, or just one sold, 30 offers. Like no one wants to work. No one wants to work.
For sure.
And then we're setting this false expectation now that rates are 6-7%. It's like, bro, like rates were 18, 20, 10. You know what I mean? Like even in 2017, 2018, when rates were like 6 and 5 and 7/8 and still 5%. No, we're back to pre-pandemic. Now they're a little bit higher than pre-pandemic, but this is what it was.
Right.
We were just babied the last 2 years. Yeah. So it's that mind shift, right? And getting them to understand like this is what it is. And really resetting those expectations, because even when you see people say, what's high, right? Like, now you hear all the weird, everyone's saying it now, marry the house, date the rate, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, because that you are losing that opportunity cost, right? Because your interest rate on your rent is still 100% versus get your home now, get that appreciation and the opportunity cost. And I think where people really miss the boat right now is millennials will continue to be the driving force in home buying over the next 10 years, but I'll take it one even deeper than that. That 7 out of every 10 home buyers going through 2029 are going to be Hispanic and Latino. And that 51% of all home buyers in America in 2021 were Hispanic and Latino.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Straight from the NARUP, National Association of Real Estate Hispanic Professional. You know what I mean? So
shout out to that, man. Yeah, that's huge. That's big time, bro.
I love it. We're doing it, bro. We're doing it, bro. And one thing that we're actually doing in January and February, we're doing a great. This is, matter of fact, this is my Comunidad T-shirt right here.
Fuego.
Fuego.
See what I did there?
I see what he did there. He read a Pringles label and said Fuego. He was able to say Fuego.
Yeah.
But we're doing a grab the key event, right?
Okay.
And we're showing and we're bringing resources, and I want to bring all the big names in real estate and mortgage lending into this big community. I don't care if you're in the business, not in the industry, whatever like that. Matter of fact, we'd love to have you on the panel and the board, man. We're having the CEO of Movement School come in to do this. We're having our director of diversity lending do this.
That's fine,
we're gonna have, man, it's gonna be food dough. It's gonna be a big event, man. There's some people I still have to knock on their doors and ask them to be on the panel, but man, we're doing some big things for my people and for the community right now.
That's beautiful, man.
And it's so crazy. I mean, we're rolling out Spanish 1003s, Spanish online applications.
Talk to me. What's 1003?
Application. So that's the actual loan application.
Okay.
So a Spanish loan application that's completely in Spanish and completely online application.
Okay.
Like the loan estimates and the closing disclosures completely in Spanish.
Hey, man. So plug here. I'm so glad you said that. And if you have somebody, my team, Pilot Realty, we're looking for Spanish-speaking, preferably veteran agents. If you got somebody, somebody that's looking.
I think you just got one of my homegirls.
We did that. She's who prompted that. She's running. So yeah, and we'll talk. We'll keep that under wraps for now.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna shout her out, but you know who you are. Shout her out.
She didn't want to put it out there, but high talent. She's taken over basically my position as director of sales, and we're realizing like, hey, we're getting in Spanish-speaking clients off of online for sure, and just being able to service full circle everybody, right? So, hey, I love it. And it's grab the keys.
So it's grab the keys. So we have two. So we have two departments in my company. We have grab the key and then La Comunidad. La Comunidad falls underneath that. So that La Comunidad, Spanish loan officers, processors, assistants, Junior. So the whole process that the client's going to experience, that a English person
for sure
would completely be in Spanish. It's that same language.
Value,
you know what I mean?
Sure. I love that, man.
It's just gonna be, bro. It's gonna be dope. But we're also bringing resource. We're not just saying, hey, but and there's gonna be more information on that, on how they're gonna tame home ownership, going directly to the consumer, bringing them in. I don't care if you have a social security number or an ITIN number. If you're legal here and now, we're showing you how to grab the key, right? And then for my black folks, my wife's side, my family, my aunt, because again we're blended, Hispanic, and black family. Coming out, and I don't know if I can say it yet, but you know what? Screw it. It's going to be a special purchase lender credit for minorities only.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
And that's all I can say.
Is that SPAR?
No. Yeah. This is exclusive. This is all in house. This is all in house, bro. This is all
there. Nice plug there. That's dope, though, man.
So we are going to teach. We are going to teach. We are going to not only teach, but then give product for blacks and Hispanics to grab the key.
That's beautiful.
Grab the key.
Y'all doing the next level.
You know what I mean?
Y'all doing it. Man, you almost ripped my damn.
No, I mean, you almost. I mean, you see, I'm like,
they heard me like stuttering the mic just now.
No, I mean, like I had my feet right here. My feet weren't grounded. Like I was right here. So like you put me in. Like he put me in. No, man, don't listen to this man.
All right. But that's I don't know if you secure the bag. Have you seen?
I heard it. Secure the bag. Yeah.
Same type vibe, man. Beautiful. Michaela Pope. Shout out to VP, man, over at Prodigy Realty. She's huge in the community. But I love this, man, and that's
Karen Tyler's shop. Shout out to Karen Tyler. She's awesome.
That's Tyler. Yeah, we'll call her Karen.
That's right. Don't
call
sorry.
Yeah.
And she knows I know better than that. And when she finds me and she sees me, she's gonna whip my Tyler. I owe you a beer. I know you don't do it. I'm gonna just apologize.
It's all good, hit me later. But it gives that same type of energy, man. I'm all for it. I think you and I even talked, man. We have very similar upbringings and like what we're trying to give back. Mine is very. I keep wanting very military, even going to another level, military minority specific, just because of, it's an undervalued community, I believe, and it's just what we learned and our literacy growing up obviously just wasn't there.
A lot of people run into the military for that security blanket, man.
Right, I was one of them for sure.
I mean, I found out I was, my then person I was with or whatever was pregnant, man. I went to the Marine Corps. I was like, yes, benefits, please, permission to come aboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
best decision I made though, man, and I'll never take it back for sure. So like, there's almost a little bit of survivor's guilt. You feel me? Like I look back and it had a lot to do with like, the way I spent money, the way a lot of things, man, like looking back at my boys back home, man, it's just like, damn, if they would have like came with me, and I get it all the time when I go back to Houston, like, bro, I see what you're doing, Jay. We love you, man. Like, I wish I'd have joined. And it's like, cool. How do I now provide the information and education that I've been blessed to obtain to now my people, right? And so it's weird. It's like this weird guilt almost for leaving. Yeah, for leaving.
Let me tell you, man. One of my best friends, bro, went to the same schools all growing up. Middle, high school, whatever. Still my best man, my brother to this day, man. And a couple of my dudes that I grew up with, right? And they all graduated. One went into the military just like I did. He's out, and he has his career, as a correctional officer, and another person works for the government. And they work 9 to 5s, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with working a good 9 to 5,
absolutely
right?
Absolutely not.
Nothing wrong with that.
Very clear.
But and I'm not necessarily survivor's good because I don't consider myself a success, right? And it's one of those things too where it's such a cliche, but everybody has a different definition of success, right? And you have to, because everybody has a number in their mind that makes them feel financially secure. If I make this much, or if I have this much in the bank, or if I could just pay this, right? Because that's where that security, comes from, right? But at the same time, I realize that regardless of what this market's going to do, that man upstairs is ultimately my source and my provider. So I don't care what the rates are. I don't care what the inventory is. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Bro, I journal it down. I write it down. Bro, I read my book of Proverbs.
Let's talk about that. What does your morning look like? Not to switch I'd like to know. Yeah.
So wake up between 05:30 and 0600.
Military time.
Yeah. So about 5:30 and 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm usually up. Wake up. First thing I do. I'm trying to get more disciplined now. I'm not perfect at it. Now my phone literally goes on do not disturb at 8 p.m.
Okay.
My phone goes on, and that's religious.
Is
8
that
p.m.
automatic?
Automatic. Yep, I said it on your phone.
I'm a Zennial, man.
You automatically said it. You know why? Because I'm not a firefighter. I'm not an EMT. I'm not a police officer. There's no such thing in emergency.
Right.
Bro, I got 4 kids.
Man.
Right? If someone needs to do an application.
Congratulations, my guy.
Thank you.
We call you WPOG back home, man.
Bro, I got 4.
We pull out game.
Yeah. Who wants to do that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
What are their ages? We never did go over there when we met.
So my oldest is 14.
We did talk about this because my son just turned 14.
So yeah, she's 14. She'll be 15 in January.
Wow.
And I got 2 that were actually born on the same day, 7 years apart.
Okay.
So my wife and I have 3 together. My oldest is from a previous relationship.
Okay.
So she's my 14-year-old. And my wife and I, we have a 9-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old.
I've seen your kids. I'm team mixed, bro. So I support any biracial. Don't pull me up too hard this time. I support biracial all day. Beautiful children, dog.
I appreciate you. That's my black queen right there.
Hey,
you know,
beautiful, man.
You know,
you did well, my guy.
I did good. You know what I mean? I did. Nothing a little Bill Cosby, couldn't. First, you make Jello.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that.
No, I was playing because every time someone looks at her, and I've been getting it for like the last 10 years, especially when I take it to like company functions,
for sure.
And they're like, Jeremy, how did you pull that?
I
and like even some of my friends, they're like, how did you pull?
Energy, man. Swaggy, dog.
I'm like, first of all, nice guys finish last. So when you wait for the right one, the right one is provided.
I dig that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't have to try as hard, and there's none of that fluff and none of that fakeness.
Right.
Because that's where relationships also fall. The sidebar. If we meet each other for the first time, oh my God, I love butter pecan ice cream, and I love horror movies, and I love long walks on the. But then like
all of that.
After 6-7 months that goes by, you start peeling back the onions to that, and then I just said that because you said it, and I really liked you, and I was superficial, and then it doesn't like it. Then it's just like, well, that's how you were. You didn't say that 7 months ago. You didn't like that because you didn't set the. Everything falls and starts with setting expectations and personal and business.
You tell me this guy is a man of many faces, dog. Love doctor.
Man, people
drop in.
People,
you were right about JB, man. This needed to happen sooner for sure.
People look at me because of my humor that I used for a long time and all the comedy that I did as a deflection, right? Because I was going through a lot of pain. And I recently, and that's part of back to my morning, right? And that's I look in the accountability mirror, right? And I say, okay, I can talk about running this mile or 2 miles, or I can actually do this 2 miles, right? And actually track it, right?
Right.
And so. And you got it, and I put all the stuff I called. I wasn't mature enough to really understand it. All this crap that I called crap. That's
maturity, by the way.
For the long time,
that you weren't mature enough. I realized that.
Like to say, I'm gonna write down my goals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write affirmations.
Who's this voice you know?
Oh, no one. Just like the goof. It's the goofy
right,
ball. It's my own voice in my head. That's because that's how it sounded, right?
I love it.
But you know what is so crazy because I cannot do it and fail. Or I can try it and succeed. But if I fail and I tried it, well, then I tried it and I still, can say this didn't work, right? I can't just say it didn't work. A lot of times people say it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't try.
Right.
You thought you did, but you didn't.
Right.
Like you really thought you tried, but you really didn't try. Did you make 40 calls that day? Did you follow up with everybody that day?
Right,
Did you write 4 personal notes that day?
Intentionality, man. Intentionality.
Like, were you intentional? Like,
right.
And because that Xennial crap, we want to send a text message like we want to send. Everything's much quicker with that. And I swear to God, I hate texting, man. I really am. I am that old soul, man. Like, I'm that low. Let's go break bread. Like, when I'm drinking again, let's go grab a beer. Like,
right.
For me, having a meal is so intimate with somebody.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Like we went out to eat one. You know what I mean? This guy likes tacos over there at Town Center. That's his place. Cantina Laredo. And I bet you he likes some sort of Tex-Mex food and good tacos and stuff like that. So
I do.
Pick that up off of one meal. You know what I mean? It's so intimate. You start knowing what its likes and dislikes. So I'll try to wake up every single morning. Usually my 4-year-old she'll come in the bed with me like at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Man.
I give her a kiss. I get up. Put on my civvies, I go out and I run, right? For that mental clarity and that mental focus.
Love it.
My wife asked me, she's like, you don't do that with headphones? You don't have, everyone wants to have their pods on and
it's
the Jay-Z.
Distracting, man. I find any music and even podcasts.
I can't run.
Distracting, and I'm not paying attention.
I will say this: there was one time when I was running, and there was this book that I read by Bob Iger. His name's Robert Iger. Call him Bob. He was the CEO of Disney for 15 years. Been with the company for 20 years when he started with ABC. The Ride of a Lifetime.
Okay.
And I remember I started that book. I just couldn't put it down.
Wow.
So I was running with
I'm gonna take that with me.
The Ride of a Lifetime.
Okay.
It just hits for me. It just everybody has, and there's certain books I feel like you should read every year, and that's another thing, another golden nugget I think people miss. People's like, oh my God, I read this book. Well, did you read it or did you listen to it? That's number one. Because some people are audio learners, some people are visual learners, and which is okay because I have to have both. And I do like listening to it while I'm reading because I get done with the book faster, right? And but here's the thing. You can watch Top Gun Maverick, you can watch Rush Hour 2 a million times, right? And know the premise, know the plot, know everything backwards and forwards. The people fail because they try to read a book one time and then they think they're going to remember everything and they don't. Or B, I'm going to implement everything all at once and my life has changed.
Right.
Doesn't work that way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If that was the case, then the Bible, the oldest book in history, would have only been read once by pastors and spiritual leaders and sold once. And it's still the best-selling book of all time, all 66 books.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it's a teacher for everyday life, right?
Right.
So whether it's on my Bible app or whatever, I try to just do, and I'm not even going to lie, I do pray. I'm a praying somebody. I probably pray more times a day.
Prayer's real, man.
I'm a praying somebody.
Real. I'll chime in on that. Prayer is real. Whoever or whatever you speak to, I promise you, they're listening, and that might be you. It might be what's going on inside you. It could be God above, who you believe. But I've learned, and this is recent, man. I'm 35, and you hear it all. Like I grew up Southern Baptist, so it was like just shoved down my throat. So it really turned me off for a long time. And not to use that as a cliche excuse, but it was. Yeah. And now I'm in a space, and I can tell you this, man, and I'll get a little intimate here. Like 2 months ago, I got down on my knees because I was in a space of I just needed clarity. And guidance. That's all I needed. That's all I wanted. It was nothing like specific. I didn't need an X amount of dollars. I didn't want this one thing to happen. I just got down and asked God, like, can you just provide clarity and guidance? And I can contribute everything, any success I've had in the last 2 months to that day it started. So I want to just go out and promote, man, like, and add on to like absolute prayer matters.
Prayer does matter, man. And I pray more than I actually read my Bible. And I've always had because my wife, she's been a soldier right behind me, man. And it's crazy because people always say, behind every good man is a strong woman. I'm here to correct you and tell you beside every strong man isn't even a stronger woman. I'm trying to tell you. And,
like
it's one of those things. I'm trying to tell you, man, she was the first one. And I told her a long time, she was like, man, you should have been out there and did your thing. And I was like, and go on a commission because it's a scary world, right? Leaving,
sales,
salary, you know what I mean? But she's like, scary money don't make money. You can do it.
Yeah.
She's like, you can do this. I believe in you. Like, and then when you ride it, that's like, believing in you and holding you accountable.
It's a lot of stress and anxiety.
It is because when people don't see and they don't have that same vision and alignment, they don't see what the end game is. But at one point in my life, I couldn't see putting my kids in a certain school. I couldn't see being in a certain place. And it's crazy because you do have that survivor's guilt. I'm going to hit back to that in a minute because I see my friends and they're doing well. But it's kind of like some of them should still rock with you, but some of them still rock with you, but in a different manner because they see, oh my God, you're here now. And they don't feel like you can still relate to them on where they're at because and it's different, right?
It is.
And it's crazy because bro, Let's talk about it. There would be times in my life, bro, when I've said this almost in every podcast when we got intimate. There'd be times I didn't have any money to put in my gas tank, bro. I just didn't have it. The dollar trick, when me and DeAndre was talking about that, I would literally debit card, $1, fill it up. Who gives a damn about the overdraft fee?
Line up cars. I used to, my wife at the time, my son's mom, that would be our trick, and she would park behind me, and I wouldn't rack the gas tank, and she pulled up. We just keep filling it up. Because it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing.
And it's crazy, right? So think about, and when I look back and thinking about it, I'm like, man, I'm not that far removed from that, right?
Right.
And people still got me messed up because they still think I'm that same person that I was. So when you start moving away into a different space because you outgrow people for a reason in a season, whether they're going to plant a seed or whether you're going to, be in someone's life for a reason, right? And people come and go, but you really are the top people that you surround yourself by. You start believing in things and you're just like, wait, I'm not really believing in that. It's really happening and transforming. I just talked to somebody because there's a difference between trusting God and believing in God. Right. I can believe that God died on the cross, but do I believe it? Do I trust in him if I tithe that he's actually give to me tenfold? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because you see in that realization that in your checking account, I can't even get to work, and I've been there.
For sure.
And it's crazy because I look at my friends now and it's kind of like where $20, $30 was a lot of money back then, right? But now, like, if they needed help with a couple $100, but that was a lot for me. Like, I remember one time, oh my God, I got $500 saved. Like, and that was just like, whew, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now it's just kind of like, nah, bro, here you go. Don't, you know what I mean? And how you start seeing life differently, and how when your life changes, it's like millionaires to us now when they just say, I just dropped $1 million on a house. And we're just like, you know what I mean? But millionaires talk about dropping $1 million like it's $5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's that different thing. But, and I'm going to tie this all up here. I'm going to tie it all up. Is we have to move on from the survivor's guilt, right? And we can, still have a handout and pull them up with us.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Or still respect where they're at, and they can still respect where you're at, right?
Right.
And then so that just kind of goes on to, if I'm waking up in the morning, I'm writing my affirmations like, today is going to be great regardless, right? And praying for and even at night, like just recapping the day. And the reason why that hits different too is because that holds you accountable for what you did or didn't do that
you can
morning.
Go back on
right?
incidents or situations.
And it's crazy because when
you said that were kind of maybe I've been out of pocket, or you know what I mean?
Like, I have written down, Jeremy, you are a punk because you didn't do that, like, because of my fear. And then you're like, man, and then it's kind of like, it's a gut check, because if one of your homies was about to gut check you about something, like, yo, like, go follow up, like, go hit him, like, you wouldn't be punked, like, you would go do that.
Right,
so it's not like really punking myself out. It's just that accountability.
For sure.
Right? Like, quit being a punk, quit making excuses.
Right.
So that mile, to me, is not about being healthy. Like, me running is not about, I love running. No, I can't stand. I don't think that's what people understand. Like, I hate it. But it's the only win of the day. If that's the only win of the day, I beat myself.
First thing in the morning.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If I made my bed, I beat myself.
Right.
Right? And I took a win, because I'm going to take an L on that appraisal. I'm going to take an L on that inspection report. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to take an L with my wife later.
L's, man.
You know what I mean?
Shout
like,
out to the appraisal L's out there.
Boy, feel like Drake. Shout out to the appraisal doing dead time. No. But it's one of those things where I have zero value. Take this, and if this is a nugget for you guys, I hope it is. I have zero value on my time between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Got it.
There's zero value. That's normal business hours.
Right.
That time between 5:30 to 7:59, and sometimes 8:30, because depending on what my daughter's school schedule is like. But let's just call it 8 a.m. That's me time. Don't talk to me. Don't bother. You text me. I'm going to see it more than likely.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to respond to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Certain people have that access to me. Like, if you're part of like my morning group, if we're doing something, but I'm not going to respond to you, because I love taking my daughters to school every single morning, giving them a kiss and walking them into their classroom.
I love it, man.
And I won't.
It's non-negotiable.
That's 1,000% non-negotiable.
And Kobe, I don't know if you ever saw the non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like he talks about.
My son's named after Kobe, man.
Really? I do remember.
Come on, man. He's my idol, man. Come on, man. Not a false idol, but
nah, I hear you.
Some people.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Dude was just talking about the Bible. Not
Yeah.
Nah, Kobe talks about that non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to, like, there's nothing that's going to deter you away from what you said you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like the way he said it with so much conviction and passion, it's like, it doesn't even cross my mind not to do something that I've said that I'm going to do. It's a non-negotiable. For you, that's your non-negotiable. It's like
1,000%.
And I get it. I can, another intimate moment, I don't know if I had that initially. I was going with what I knew was going to take me to the quickest way to success. And I think I forgot and pushed a lot of people to the side because of it. I now have a non-negotiable with my son, who's 14, who lives in Dallas, right? I'm going to spend I bought a house 8 minutes down the road from him that I Airbnb out when I'm not there, just so when I come there, I can be next to him and not have to pay for a hotel. I bought a car that I Turo when I'm not there, but just to be with him. And I don't say that to brag or be braggadocious. I say that, like, to me, it was a non-negotiable. I have to set my life up this way in order to execute this, to be able to see him the way I want to see him, right?
Absolutely.
When you get to that point,
you realize what matters, what's important.
And then when you realize what matters, everybody talks about the why, which I'm not opposed to the why. It could get a little overused and cliche, because really, and we have shout out to KW, we have a tool that we use in the exercise that we call 7 layers deep.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really start asking, well, why? You say, well, my baby girl. Well, why is that so important to you? And you start getting down. I promise you this, and you can take it with you to your agents or anybody in leadership. When you get to 5 or 6, that's where the waterworks happen. Every time. It never fails, because things are so much more deeper and embedded than you think of why we were programmed to do the things we do, man. A lot of it, A lot of his childhood trauma. It's just there's things. So when that surfaced for me of like, nah, man, my pops, you know, shout out to my pops, love him if he's listening. But like, there was a time he wasn't there for a good amount of my life, when I was a kid, right?
Me too.
A good amount, like damn near all of it. That was one thing. Like, I would never do that to my son. I don't care if I'm here or not. And it was crazy, bro. When I shifted my mind around that, though I'm not physically in Dallas, I'll put any money on, and this is where I will get confident that I out-dad 99% of dads out here with my intentionality with my son. I call him and speak to him every day for 2 hours. And that's where my mama had to kind of like put that in perspective for me, because I was beating myself up for not being present physically there all the time. And she said, baby, you spend more time with your son than the man that, you know, the average man that goes to work, comes home and just, you know, turns the TV on.
Because you can be present and not present.
There it is, right. And
I got checked on that a couple times.
It happens, right? That's intentionality, right? So that's the non-negotiable. So when I hear you talk about that, man, it gives me goosebumps, man. That's beautiful that you're with that. You
got to. And then I'll take it a step further where our business will go in all night, right? Because people are typically working between 8 and 9 to 5, right? So they don't get to see a house or write an offer until after 5 o'clock, right?
Especially military. In the military time, we deal with
But it's kind of like, okay, my daughters have ballet. Yo, when my son hits T-ball and like, you know, karate, jiu-jitsu, whatever like that, you think I'm answering a phone and missing him what he's doing?
Right.
Better go kick rocks.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because I will never get that time back. I just will never get it back.
It's real, man.
So from 5 to 7, if you need something, I got somebody on the team. They're gonna take care of you. Or if not, you're gonna have to wait, right?
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of leverage.
Of leverage, right?
Which because, we teach, by the way.
And again, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's times where you're more lenient with that than others. But you try to keep that, because then my wife, you know, she needs help between 5. You need to cook dinner. You need to get 3 kids.
I got 4 babies. I can only imagine.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you start making that. So then you start working hard, because my excuse was, well, I got to do. Well, you work harder, right, or smarter. Between these hours, you'll have the time.
Efficient.
And that's where most people make excuses. Well, I don't have time to go run or do something that I hate, right? But you're not. It's not a character trait. Discipline is a skill that you learn to develop. Yes. People say, I don't have that discipline. Well, guess what? It's not a character trait. You're not born. It's not a gene in your DNA sequence.
Right.
Newsflash.
You sounded hella smart just now, by the way.
It's
DNA sequence? Is that? I feel like that's correct too.
I mean, it is. It's absolutely correct. It's just 1,000% correct. You know, for my neurologists out there, it's like like they cannot break down your mRNA and all that stuff. They're not going to be able to see.
That was impressive, bro.
You know, I mean, it's just a matter of fact, bro.
Right.
But you learn, how do I develop that? And you know what's so crazy? And it's one of my people, Daddy Yankee.
Yeah.
Huge Daddy Yankee fan.
Shout out to PR.
Shout out to Puerto Rico, mi gente, dale, ta aquí. Listen.
You made me want to turn up right now. I don't know what you just said, but I want to turn up.
But listen.
Yeah.
So Daddy Yankee, man, one of my heroes, because he's so successful. Could have got caught up. And he's like the people, you know, and of course you don't know him. He's like the Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know,
I know enough to know that.
He created reggaeton.
Right.
You know, like him and Don Omar are like the you can't get big on reggaeton.
Los Bandoleros is one of my favorites.
There you go. Right? Los Bandoleros, yeah.
It's one of my favorite records.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got a Don Omar fan up in here. His discipline. And he talks about one of his podcasts, and I would say watch it, but unless it has English subtitles, but he talks about discipline. He doesn't drink alcohol. He's been faithful to his wife. He's a family man. That's who's dope, made. Man. And he's always
on the
said,
level he's at, that's amazing.
He said when he remembered doing, I remember this one thing. He was like, so many excuses for so many artists coming into it. He's like, you got social media, you got Twitter, you got Facebook. He said, we didn't have any of those platforms when I was doing it. He said, we had broken records and tapes, and we had crappy microphones, and we were rapping and recording over, you know, songs, and we're slowing down. Like, he created, and they were selling tapes and CDs out of trunks and stuff like that.
It's addicted to the game,
dude was going to be a baseball player.
Yeah,
had a contract with the Mariners.
Is that why he's called Daddy Yankee?
Well, he's a big Yankee fan.
Okay.
But he got shot in Puerto Rico, in El Barrio. No, I don't make it that dramatic. But he got shot. His baseball career ended, right?
Okay.
And the bullet still went
I
him
did not
too.
know that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, fun
But he
fact.
talks about the
so
discipline. People who were doing shows, they said, I'm too good to figure out how to manage the lights, how to manage the production, how to do the stuff. But he said, I wanted to learn every small detail of the show. Yeah, and you know what that did for him now? He can coordinate and has his own production. He's grabbing the bag.
All money in, man.
He doesn't have to pay a production company.
Like Nipsey, man. You keeping it all.
He doesn't have to pay somebody to stage the lights, to do audio, to do visual, to do any of that. He grabs the bag for all of that.
For sure.
But he's like that. Focus and discipline. Don't be so focused on being the center of attention instead of focusing on the things that are going to create you being in the center of attention.
Right. I dig it,
you see what I'm saying?
I love
so, dude, it's crazy. So when I'm like, oh my God, this guy travels the world. I mean, songs are known in China and Korea, like #1 artists over there in China. How do they understand Spanish? I'm like, God dang. I mean, I know it's just crazy, right?
It's the energy.
It's just crazy. But he has that discipline, right? So man, I would say do what you hate doing to overcome it. Read, journal, write daily affirmations, spend time with your family, and everything else, man, will really come, bro. I mean, you do that, and you just be your authentic self. You be your true self.
That part, man. That part is for real. Especially, it took me a while to figure that out, man. And like, again, I get real intimate, man. I get real deep. Like, growing up as a biracial dude, that was hard for me.
Being a Spanish dude, especially when I moved with my dad, and he was primarily white. So then I had to look and had to wear these clothes in this name brand,
talk a certain way, and not intimidate and not scare. So it was
that acceptance.
Correct, and that's natural.
Especially when you didn't
behavior.
have a father, right?
Right.
Who taught you it's okay to be yourself.
Correct. So when you say that, it's really, and it's like it's over the last. And I'll say over the last probably 5 years, I've evolved into like who Jordan really is. Like I don't, and I tell this to anybody out there who's kind of still finding their way, right? They like really being comfortable in your own skin, finding the people that you can be yourself around and not get judged. Because here's the thing, man, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know because of decisions I've made in my past. I know because of like I understand.
Preach.
You know what I mean? And for a long time, that ate at me because I wanted to be the guy liked by everybody, right? But I'm realizing like it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It is impossible, right? You're gonna have, even when you're doing your absolute best, there's gonna be haters. I had a quote about it. Ryan Holiday, ego is the enemy. I don't know if you've read that. That was one of those you mentioned. Your boy from the Disney,
Robert Iger, Bob
Iger, the book, like
Right of a Lifetime. Yeah.
Yes, ego is the enemy was like one of those catalyst books for me to realize 90% of the reason why I wasn't where I wanted to be was due to insecurity and ego, and I'm talking like just recent, bro, and. Those two will be the quickest hindrance of any success for you if you're constantly insecure and constantly worrying about being the center of attention and doing that because now your focus is not where it belongs, right? And it's those two. I mean, those two create anxiety and create paranoia and like removing those, literally smothering the ego, which is what I've done over the last few years. His name was Lance. I had an alter ego, man. That's how the dude was just.
That's your alter ego?
Dog, he was just.
He was it.
Did too much. I literally have to smother this dude. And even to this day, it comes up. I catch myself and like, no, that's Lance.
You have to die to yourself, right?
Right.
You have to die to yourself. And I think, again, going back to the basic book, man, like pride was the downfall of man, Like Lucifer was the most gifted angel in heaven.
Right.
He could sing, led worship, all that stuff, and then got thrown in the pits of hell because of that jealousy, because of that envy, right? So it teaches you already that pride is the downfall of man. And it's so crazy because we want so bad to be accepted. And we don't realize is that, and one thing that when I say this is all stuff starting to really hit me recently, because like we all read scripture, but there's reading scripture, and then there's reading scripture to understand it, right? Where, the church is not the building. It's a place. It's a people. Right?
Yeah.
It's really the people. It's not the building. It's the people. We are programmed psychologically, mentally, spiritually, and physically to be with people.
Oh, absolutely. We're social beings. Yes, social creatures, man.
We have to be,
right?
You know, and I have to get back to that. You have to be conscious of what you're digesting and what you are around.
Man.
Great
word, by the way. And just
what you're taking in. Everything,
music,
right?
Everything. Absolutely.
Clickbait out there, all the negative stuff, whether it's negative, oh my God, the housing market's going to crash, or this person did this.
Right.
There's so much more positive news out there than there is negative news, but negative sells.
Oh, facts, Zach.
Drug sells, sex sells,
right.
All this stuff, corruption sells.
Absolutely.
You're never going to see the front page of a newspaper for a guy, saving someone from, you're not going to see that. That will still come in page 6.
We turned into those old guys. They're like, music's rotting the brains of the kids. Like, but it's the truth. Like, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy because what's crazy? Because I like my artists and stuff like that, but I don't know anything new. Jordan, I don't know anything new.
Oh man, 2017 was my cutoff. I can admit, like, I'm the old. I'm a huge Nipsey fan. Huge, like.
Can I make an admission?
Talk to me.
I don't know one of his songs.
Oh man, I got you. We'll talk.
All I know about Nipsey was that he had my wife Lauren London. I would say that when she was new in ATL.
Yeah, new, man.
Love her. Shout out to Lauren London if you ever watch this. We're gonna hashtag Lauren London.
That's my girl. Not watching this either, but yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you know who her husband is?
Who's that?
Idris Elba. Yeah, Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. And that's
Matt's pretty. I'm a huge Idris fan. Yo, he won't be 007. People are wilding out.
I mean, that's great. I mean, I don't know why he won't be.
It's like the Black Mermaid.
But he should. He should be the next 007.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna hit it with this quote that Matthew McConaughey said in one of his Oscar speeches. Right. He said when he was 14 years old, one of his mentors and teachers said, hey, who's your hero, right? And Matthew McConaughey, in his voice, he's like, who's my hero? And he's just kind of like, I don't know who my hero is. Give me some time to think about it, and I'll get back to you. I'll tell you who my hero is, right? And so he takes a couple of weeks, and he comes back, and she asks him, do you know who your hero is? And he says, yes, I know who my hero is. My hero is me in 5 years, right? And then 5 years goes by, he meets up, and it's like, hey, are you your hero yet? And he's like, no. Not even close. My hero's me 10 years from now. 10 years from now, they meet up again. He said, hey, are you your hero yet? He's like, no, not even close. He's like, you see, my hero is always going to be 5, 10, 15 years away from me because that's always going to keep me giving someone to chase, Yeah. And so I was just like, wow.
That's deep, man.
Oh, man, Matthew McConaughey.
I think he dipped off to the Himalayas and meditated for a couple weeks on that.
I don't know, but you need to. I think you just kind of like why we're people need to social. That's why whatever religious that you're in, I don't care what religion it is, I don't care what it is. You need to be around the same people and that's why I feel like getting that soul food in on Sunday is so important because you're pouring out so much throughout the week and you're going 8 hours, 10 hours on the day. I can't go give an hour to my God to get refilled and fill the cup up.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like I can't go do that. Sacrifice my time.
Bro. And I love you do it on this platform too, man.
Bro, I'm not ashamed because again, I'm not looking for acceptance, man. I'm not looking for acceptance like I'm me. Like I know I got a crap ton of imperfections, things that I did, things that I said, probably even a couple. You know what I mean? Like I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? But I know I'm just more comfortable. Like I just don't care about.
It's the 1% rule, man.
Like
just if you ever get a chance, Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've ever read it.
You're gonna have to text me these books, man.
I got you, man.
Because like you said, that 88, I'm a high D, so
we've gone about 8 different paths right now, but I dig it. I think it's gonna be a good. Kay's a great editor, by the way.
We left Kate a bunch of scrap posts and stuff.
How does it like you're gonna be able to cut and bring together?
What we do. That's what we do. So we do a nice intro, nice grab, and then we do social cuts, which is like what 2-3 minutes, no more than. Yeah, so the new social cuts are about a minute, and then it drives people because then like, oh my God, that was a good, and they end up But see, but I think what we're doing, what was working for a while was the ones that we did post was like 3 to 5 minutes, and they watch that, and then they click, and then you can see them going directly to the YouTube channel, watch the whole thing. Then you bring them in, and then they go through all your whole YouTube catalog of me doing dumbness on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
But, I mean, hey,
I like it,
I created it all. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. There's some things I've done with Kate in the back. Like, could have done better. It was a little cringe for me.
Oh my God, like the I'll tell you what it was. Like, the makeup wasn't as good for my Joker one, and I watched that back, and I even do the Joker at home. I'm like, I could have hit that better. but everyone loves it. Or like the Michael Scott, you know what I mean? Like The Office. Like I love The Office, right?
To me, I almost hate watching the Brokerage. We did the Office spinoffs episodes. They feel cringe to me, but people say they like it, but then it's just like,
bro, when I had like 80 plus actual comments and over like 1,000 views, I'm like, whoa.
I might be onto something.
You might be onto something. The SPCA one that we did, that today is still a banger.
I wanted to do something like that. We gotta collab, bro.
I got so many.
We gotta collab. I'm big, especially like drop the mortgage, like agent relation. Like, let's just go vibe out and collab or something,
bro. Man. We can make some stuff. October 7th. If you're watching this, I might do a stand-up comedy show, Montego Island Grill.
Wow. I'm on the cruise, but
you're on the cruise. Come through. I don't know. Who knows? I might do some other ones too. Again, I'm still working the days on that because I want to do.
Would that be your first time?
No, it'll be like my second or third time doing stand-up.
I'm a comedy head, bro.
Okay.
I love comedy. I was raised on it, right? We talk like, I don't know, like, mom's wasn't around. She worked 2 jobs. I was raised on Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Martin. Yeah, man. You know, so I'm a huge comedy head, man.
Yeah.
So let me know whenever you do something. I'm gonna come slide through, man.
Well, I appreciate you.
I will boo you though if it's trash. Man, I will tell you if it's trash.
That's the risk that you take. And you know what's crazy though? I spend more time because you have such a limited amount of time on stage and you have like your go-to jokes, but then you got to read the crowd.
Right.
So then I will do like a lot
What's it like, man? Is it? Are you nervous?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to, that's where I typically try to, drink a little bit to kind of settle like the nerves.
Does that work?
It does. It does.
Kaleo and I publicly speak a lot
because you can
in front of a lot of people, and
it settles you down. It does settle you down. I'm
trying to get to where I don't need, but I was definitely like a 2 shots.
But now that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm just trying to see what it's like. But it definitely, because you're at that point, you're just loose and you don't care.
How do you feel you're doing?
I did. It was a slow warm up. But when you break out Cat Williams, it's over.
Yeah.
And then you just start saying things that he would say or things that he would say, like scenario stuff. And then it's just,
For sure.
It's just
I thought about it, man, but I think it's one of those things like
you just can't go not anywhere and say pimpin', that bitch right over there was really doing something. Like you start doing that, and then Cat Williams was he's one of my top impersonations. I've been doing that since.
Cat's a great comedian, man.
I mean, he is hilarious. Me and my son out there getting chicken nuggets, eating 2, throwing 1 away because we don't give up. We got money like that.
That is really good, man. That's solid.
So you know what I mean? It don't even matter. So you start doing stuff like that, or you throw a little, like I said, Chris Tucker, hey girl, I ain't gonna play games with you. I want you. He's like, I see me and you downstairs in the bathrooms in about 5 minutes. Like that's he's like, what'd she say? She's like, you're the captain? Yes, I'm the captain. El Capitan. And he's like, what's the name of the back of the yacht? What's it called? The SS Minnow Johnson. The SS Minnow Johnson. That's funny because the name on the back of the yacht is called the Red Dragon. You mean I got in the wrong yacht? Oh, man, you got in the wrong yacht before, man. All these yachts here, man, they all looking like, man, I'm so sorry, man. Look, man, I ain't even mean to bother y'all, man. I'm going to go find the wrong yacht. I'm so sorry.
He been waiting to do the Chris Tucker this whole podcast. Y'all should have heard him before doing the, what you want crazy?
Which one? Oh, now you're trying to be cool. Now you got to get the...
I couldn't remember it, man. I couldn't remember the way you did.
Okay.
That's a good Denzel impersonation. Right. The lip too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the one I did? I would never do the voice impersonations. I do. I feel like I do the facial expressions. Yeah, it's this, man.
Right here. Doesn't matter what you're negotiating. Appraisal waiver, no appraisal waiver. What do you want to do? The price is not going to change.
Okay. Do you know who Denzel Washington is?
He doesn't know. We've done some John Q.
There you go, man.
What is it? John Q. I know you did the John Q cut in one of my YouTube videos. That jank was fire. That jank was fire.
Denzel and Tom Hanks, man, are my 2 favorite actors. Man.
Nah, man, Tom Hanks. Yes, I was saying that. Denzel and Tom Hanks all time. All time.
You can't catalog. There's catalog.
Everything. Name a bad movie between Denzel and Tom Hanks. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Virtuosity was horrible.
Well, who did that one?
That was Denzel, exactly.
I didn't even hear about that.
It was him and I believe Russell Crowe, man.
Russell Crowe's great.
You would think.
But they redeemed themselves in American Gangster, though.
Phenomenal, right?
Phenomenal movie.
So Virtuosity.
Shoot me right here, Frank. Mm-hmm.
That was Virtuosity, like I think 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a weird premise. It was like two great actors. They probably saved it from being a complete tank. But yeah, I'm a huge movie buff. So
I mean, that's like Eddie back in the 80s was dominating everything, man. Eddie Murphy.
Facts.
I mean, everybody loved. See, everybody knew I should have got that damn Oscar. You know what I mean?
They be dropping names just so he could come in and impersonate
I just come in. I just love them. I just love them all, man.
Where do you think that comes from, man? We talked about that. Is it the comedy side though? I read this is an Instagram fact now. I read people with damage to the right hemisphere of their brains tend to joke more often than people who do not have that damage due to get through anxiety, stress, and any other depression.
Man. It's just I've been through, man, Jordan, man, we can get offline later, man. I'll tell you some stuff I've been through in my life, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, brother.
Man. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming through. Shout out to Mr. Jay Griggs in the building. Appreciate you coming through.
The team I run, Pilot Realty, I want to be transparent and say I am looking for 3 members to join our team, preferably military, active duty, or actually veterans. So I'm looking for 3 agents in production. You could even be just obtaining your license, but I'd love to have you, to interview you, to have the opportunity to join our team. Look us up, Pilot Realty, on Facebook, Pilot Realty RG on IG. And then I just want to shout out my boy, Maddox Christian Griggs. I love you, man. If you ever get a chance to watch this, just know your dad's out here representing you at a high level, son. So I love you, man. All right, boy. That was it, man.
Okay, we out, man.